Years ago, there was a very wealthy man who, with his righteous and devoted young son, shared a passion for art collecting. The son was a soldier in the army, and during his winter leaves, also known as snow holidays, would visit home. The elderly father would anxiously anticipate the arrival of his son. During the vacation, they would travel around the world, adding only the finest art treasures to their collection. Priceless artwork by Picasso, Da Vinci, Van Gogh, Monet, and others adorned the walls of their family estate. They owned rich collections of artifacts, including performance arts, ancient musical instruments, weapons of Roman infantry, jewelry, carpets, ivory, stones, metal sculptures, and many historical objects distinguished by collection of often unique objects such as coins from Mughal and Caesar dynasties. Near the fireplace, there was also a photo gallery where works on paper such as drawings, pastels, watercolors, prints, and paintings of Picasso and Monet were placed. It had been only a few days that the son had arrived home for vacation, and plans were being made for the next trip to add treasures to the existing illustrious collection. As few days passed, war engulfed their nation, and all the servicemen were asked to report to duty at the earliest. The son immediately rushed back to the camp to answer the call of duty. After only a few short weeks, the elderly man received a telegram that his beloved son was missing in action. The art collector anxiously awaited more news, fearing he would never see his son again. Within days, his fears were confirmed. The young man had died while rushing a fellow soldier to safety. Distraught and lonely, the old man faced the upcoming spring holidays with anguish and sadness. The joy of the season, a season that he and his son had so looked forward to in the past, that he would visit home, was no longer. One morning, a knock on the door awakened the depressed old man. As he walked to the door, the masterpieces of art on the wall only reminded him that his son was not coming home. He opened the door and was greeted by a soldier with a large package in his hand. The soldier introduced himself to the old man by saying, I am a friend of your son. I was the one he was rescuing when he died. May I come in for a few moments? I have something to show you. As the two began to talk, the soldier told of how the man's son had told everyone of his and his father's love for fine artwork. The soldier also told the old man that his son had rescued dozens of wounded soldiers before a bullet stilled his caring heart. As the father heard the story of his son's gallantry, fatherly pride and satisfaction began to ease his grief, as he realized that although his son was no longer with him, the boy's life would live on because of those he had touched. I am also an artist, said the soldier, and I want to give you the present. As the old man began to unwrap the package, paper gave way to reveal a portrait of the man's son. An air of melancholy surrounded him, though the world would never consider it a work of genius. The painting featured the young man's face in striking detail. Overcome with emotion, the old man thanked the soldier, promising to hang the portrait above the fireplace. A few hours later, after the soldier had departed, the old man set about his task. True to his words, the painting went above the fireplace, pushing aside thousands of dollars worth of painting. And then the old man sat in his chair and spent hours gazing at the gift he had been given. The painting of his son soon became his most prized possession, far eclipsing any interest in the priceless pieces for which museums around the world contemplated to purchase. He told his neighbors it was the greatest gift he had ever received. The following summer, the old man became ill and passed away. The art world was in anticipation, since with the old man's passing and his only son dead, those paintings would be sold at an auction. According to the will of the old man, all of the artwork would be auctioned. The day finally arrived, and art collectors from around the world gathered to bid on some of the world's most spectacular artifacts and paintings. Dream could be fulfilled this day. Greatness could be achieved, as some could say, I have the greatest collection. The auction began with a painting that was not on any museum list. It was the painting of the old man's son. The auctioneer asked for an opening bid, but the room was silent. Who will open the bidding with $100? He asked. Moments passed as no one spoke. From the back of the room came, who cares about that painting? It's just a picture of his son. Let's forget it and get on to the good ones. Some voices echoed in agreement. No, we have to sell this first, replied the auctioneer. Now who will take the son? Finally, after many futile attempts, when no one agreed to buy the painting, the gardener of the estate, who was working in one corner and who had been a loyal employee of the family for many years, couldn't bear the disgust, so he slowly walked towards the stage where the auction was taking place and said, Can you take $1 for the painting? That's all I have. The auctioneer turned towards the crowd and called, Will anyone go higher? After more silence, he said, Going once, going twice, and gone. The hammer fell. Cheers filled the hall, and someone shouted, Now we can get on with it and bid on these treasures. The auctioneer looked at the audience and announced that the auction was over. Stunned disbelief quieted the room. Then someone spoke up and asked, What do you mean it's over? We didn't come here for a portrait of some old man's son. What about all the other antique collections? There are millions of dollars worth of artwork here. We demand an explanation. The auctioneer replied, It's pretty simple. According to the will of the Father, whoever takes the Son gets it all.